You think you don't think you could vocalize how you feel? Or you no?
No. It's still like that. Right? It's still like that. Especially as a man, I'm speaking for me and any man that probably can relate. Right? Like, cause what do you think about what that looks like?
That doesn't make you less of a man.
I didn't say that it did.
Oh,
but I'm just saying,
because you said you don't have the space for that. You said
but not having the space and you thinking that you less of a man, I personally think it's two different things. I don't think I'm less than nothing. I just don't think that we have the space to I don't think that we live in a world where we just have the luxuries. I don't know if it's just me being a man or if it's a black man. I haven't talked to most white men, but most high-driven men, I feel, right, you live in a space where you, it's kind of really you. Is you. You might have some companionship. You might have like friends and stuff like that.
So you don't think you don't have anyone that you could talk to and say, yo, I'm feeling stressed. I feel like that you can, and that doesn't mean you sit in sadness and cry for 4 days. What I'm saying is, as a man, you should have the space to talk to another man or a woman, but another man that you could say, yo, I'm not feeling it today. I'm feeling stressed out. Yeah, I feel like as a man, I got the weight of the world on my shoulders, and I need to take a break. And you don't have a male friend that says, well, let's go walk. Let's go ride the bikes.
No.
Let's go
no.
hit the golf course.
No.
You think you should have that?
I think you probably should, but I don't, like
because you do the stress does come out. It just may bleed into something else that becomes unhealthy because you're not directing it to a way that could be healthy for you doesn't mean it doesn't come out. Sometimes it comes out. You might be, not you, but some people may beat their wife, be abusive. Some people take it out on their children, right? Some people overeat. Some people become unhealthy. So you directing it in a way that could be healthy. Well, listen, I'm going to run the track. I'm going to go to the golf. I'm going to go ride a bike.
But see, personally, when you say stuff like that and men, it comes out, that's I don't know how else to put this, but to put it, that's weak men. Not having control over their emotions.
But the control is what's driving the stress. As a woman who is who, especially since I had my children, is a lot about control. I can come home and my children I have no control over them. No matter what I think I know about them. They gonna do what they want to do. I can have a plan in my head to say, when we come home, all right, it's 3:30. They're gonna do homework for an hour, and then we're gonna eat, and then I'm gonna clean the kitchen, and they're gonna be in bed by 8:30. Well, baby, they have another plan, okay? And the lack of control tends to stress me out because I have a plan like, okay, when they go to bed at 8:30, I'm gonna finish these clients. Well, if I don't, and I become the anxiety in me starts to build up as I'm going off my schedule. I have less control. So if I can't deal with not having control, Farrah, just going outside and walk. Go in the closet and pray. You know you don't have no control over this situation because you can't control everything. I am better than trying to tighten the reins and have more control. But
that example shows that it shows the development in that thinking. Because you can't control everything. And so with that being said, I'm not saying that your children should just be loose. But you just said
as a man who does that shows him not having control. And I think that's okay for a man to go, I am feeling overwhelmed in this position. I don't have control. My business is not doing what it needs to do. Maybe my family life, my marriage is not doing what it needs to do. I am mentally exhausted in this realm. I'm recognizing this. I need an outlet. That's all I'm saying.
And I agree with that. But I think I'm saying as a man, like, but what becomes your outlet? Like, what, and who are you professing this to? Who are you telling this to? I mean, as a, have you ever had conversations with your husband and he mention of this stuff? Like, hey, I'm feeling, I'll be willing to bet, and I don't sleep with him, that he hasn't. And it's to
certain extents, and then he shuts down because he's like, I don't feel like I can.
And
that's society, but I feel
point.
like men should.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't.
Because it's unhealthy.
Right, but
as men are dying at a higher rate from stress than women.
But it has to be a purposeful situation. Meaning, if I'm bringing this up in my mind as a man, because most men lead, you're supposed to, right? At least that's how I put us. If I'm bringing this up, it has to have forward momentum into some type of resolve. But most men don't get that, and they don't feel that. And I don't think that it's by society. I just think that because I think that's all men. I don't care what race, color, creed, whatever it looks like. You don't have no other man has the same type of stressors as other men. Most of us have the likeness, but from a man to a woman, we for sure don't have the same type of stressors as women. So I'm coming to you, and then think about how that ruined marriages. Because first of all, I'm coming to you with all my stuff. Then you coming to me with all your stuff. So, somebody ain't hearing the other person because you want to be heard and you feel like your voice should be. Somebody has to suffer here.
No. No one has to suffer.
I'm not saying.
If you're coming to me,
be clear with that. I'm saying not necessarily suffer, but sometimes something has to take a back seat for a little while. That's what I'm saying.
For sure, and that's give and take in a marriage or a relationship, right? And if you're coming to me as my husband and saying, "Hey, I'm stressed," right? The business is taking a toll. I really feel yada 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 yada, and I feel like I don't have the space and the capacity to deal with that. Then I might say, "Hey, well, listen." Go talk to the counselor. Go talk to your mentor. Go talk to a friend that you feel you could trust. Go talk to your uncle. Go talk to your dad. Go talk to your spiritual advisor or leader.
And I'm saying,
and men need to have those.
And I'm saying, unfortunately, men don't have it. That's what I'm saying. Men don't have it. Most men are to themselves, and I made peace with it because what it made me do was get stronger in my faith. And I started to read the Bible. I'm starting to pray more. I'm like really excited for Ramadan that's coming up because that's kind of where I feel into my superpower. And I've done all the things. I've talked to certain people, and then
because stress never leaves. We have to learn to manage it and mitigate it.
Right, but
it's not like you reach a certain point and go, "Whoo! I reached this plateau. There's no more stress." So as life moves on and evolve, I think you need to have a routine on what you do to handle stress. And I think having a person that you can lean on when things are not looking the way you want to look.
Right, but I think that's natural for you to say because most women have like.
It's not natural. I just told you what I had to go.
No, but I'm definitely
saying, not natural. I had to unpack that to make it natural, and it's still not natural.
Right, but that's also like an outlier based off how you was raised. But when you think about most women have a natural companionship of sisterhood. Most men don't build that. That's why women roll in packs. So every time you see them, it's about 5, 10 of them. I don't think it's natural for men to roll like that. I don't think it's natural for men.
Here come the unbiased.
But I'm just being real.
All right. We roll in packs. They
do.
All right.
I've never seen a woman who was ever alone somewhere.
Me. Thank you.
Outlier. That's an outlier. You're an only child. That plays a factor. You're never alone. You got sisters. Like, that's a factor. What I'm telling you is most men, all right, let me put it this way. Most men don't feel in a space where they feel vulnerable enough to be talking to another woman or even another man. Most men have.
Why is that? Why is that? I think that's what.
Because I think
that's what we need to challenge and not say that's the natural state of man.
Because I think that men need
to find spaces where they can be there and create spaces for that.
But from a logical perspective, it just doesn't make sense. Because what are we going to be sitting here doing? What are we going to be doing? What are we going to be doing? And at the end of the day, what do you still have to do? You still got to take care of stuff. I've been in places
that doesn't
where
mean you don't take care of it.
Man,
that doesn't mean you don't. So I think there are that you should have a conference, that you should do things to talk about how you feel. And what do men, as black men, what do we do to change that?
I don't know. That's not a question for me because I don't know because I think it affects business. I think it affects a whole lot of stuff.
It does affect business.
I think it is, but I just formed the opinion that it just really it is what it is.
The statistics we brought out maybe 2 or 3 episodes ago and talked about black business, right? Where most black businesses don't have employees. They are one-man show, right? Why? And some of that to me is our inability to recognize how we feel that we need help or that we are out of control, right? I need to release some of the control to bring in people, places, and things that'll help me.
I just think that's people just don't know how to grow and scale a business. That's purely that's now from a woman perspective.
It's not a one size fits all, but it's
probably not.
But it's a combination because as a man to have a business, you know a certain amount of control needs to be released, and you need to be able to explain your deficiency to bring in the help you need. And if you can't recognize your deficiency and why you're anxious and why most of the times because you're overrun with stuff, but you don't want to recognize that you're anxious, that you're stressed out and you're overrun, and you lack the ability to release control, you'll keep holding it in.
But I think you got to look at.
I think it's a connection there. I think
you got to look at the control different. Take a man. Is first of all, there's causes and effects for everything. You take a man who builds a family. You got to look at it like. And
we can talk about business, right?
I'm talking about
We'll take a business.
You take a man who builds a. First of all, for you to take on the duty to build a business, right? No matter what it is, you're already releasing control because you're building the business. That's one thing. You're going to end up having to bring in people who's going to be the trigger of the stressors. Why do I say that? Because you're a business owner, you're the CEO, you're the leader. If I release control and bring in David and his team to record our podcast,
this is less stressful.
Right.
This is amazing.
However,
why? Because I'm not doing it. I've released control.
You gotta listen. However, the leadership ability still falls on us. Even though they run the controls, they're not going to do nothing without our insight or our oversight or our opinion.
For sure, but we lean onto their professionalism. We lean into their professionalism, which releases some of our stress to try to figure this thing out on our own. Right? I'm less stressful. Aren't you less stressful? Just a little. All right. Okay. See, man, he can't. All right. I look at my mentor, E.T., right? When he was able to bring in CJ, releasing some control to help take his business to the next level, he had to recognize I'm at a deficiency. I'm stressed out running, doing something by myself. But if I give it away, it makes I'm less stressful. And I can live a better quality of life, which is in a direct correlation to solopreneurs. Solopreneurs lack the ability, to me, to recognize where their deficit is, to release the control, to bring in someone else, will, to me, in turn, release less stress. Now, I think it lowers the stress and you can have a more work-life balance. Most solopreneurs run themselves ragged in the hole doing all the things. I got it. You just named all the things. This podcast right here, I am less stressful that I don't have to worry about no lights, no sound. I just show up as the talent and have the conversation that I naturally have with you. I ain't worried about none of this stuff. That's less stressful for me. That means I feel like, one less toe out of the box.
Okay.
All right. This was another episode of Minding Your Biz, and we talked about mental health today. having the space and capacity to offload some of that. Guys, don't forget to like, comment, share, tell a friend to tell a friend, subscribe, let everybody know that, please, right? We're trying to grow our channel. That's a wrap, guys. That is a wrap.
We'll see y'all in the next episode. Keep minding your biz.
Here we go. All right.